There is a rule that is so fundamental that it shaped every mafia organization that ever existed. And understanding this rule reveals something profound about power itself. Welcome to Forbidden Wisdom, where we dissect the power structures that society prefers to keep hidden. Today we're examining the foundational principle that transformed scattered criminal gangs into some of history's most enduring organizations. This isn't about glorifying crime, it's about understanding how power consolidates, how loyalty is manufactured, and how these same dynamics appear in corporations, governments, and institutions worldwide. Most people think the mafia's power came from violence or intimidation. Others point to that ironclad rule that you never cooperate with authorities, never testify, never break the code of silence, even if it means taking a bullet or serving time for a crime you didn't commit. The real power came from something much more subtle, something that legitimate organizations struggle to achieve even today. The first rule, the one that came before Omerta, was this: never compete where you can collaborate. This sounds simple, but it was revolutionary. Instead of multiple groups fighting over the same territory, the same rackets, the same victims, they realized something profound. Cooperation multiplied power exponentially. Here's how it worked in practice: territory division. Rather than constant warfare, they divided territories. Each group got exclusive rights to their area. No poaching, no overlap. This eliminated the massive waste of resources that came from internal conflict. Specialization. Different groups developed expertise in different areas, some focused on protection rackets, others on smuggling, others on political corruption. They became suppliers to each other rather than competitors. Dispute resolution. They created systems to resolve conflicts between groups without violence. Think of it as the world's first criminal justice system, with rules, procedures, and enforcement mechanisms. Collective defense. When law enforcement targeted one group, others would provide support, safe houses, alibis. An attack on one became an attack on all. This principle, never compete where you can collaborate, didn't just organize crime. It organized power itself. In corporate America, companies that should compete instead form oligopolies, price fix, and lobby together against regulation. The airline industry, telecommunications, healthcare, they've learned the mafia's first lesson. In politics, political parties may appear to oppose each other publicly, but notice how quickly they unite when their collective power is threatened by outsiders or reform movements. In academia, peer review systems, tenure processes, and academic hierarchies all function to protect established experts from outside competition. The mafia discovered what game theorists now call cooperative equilibrium, the point where everyone benefits more from collaboration than competition. But there's a darker psychological component here. This rule doesn't just organize criminals, it transforms them. When you're part of a cooperative power structure, you start to see outsiders not as potential allies, but as threats to the entire system. This creates an us versus them mentality that becomes self-reinforcing. Studies of organized crime families show that members often display higher loyalty to their organization than to their own blood relatives. Why? Because the organization provides something family cannot: guaranteed mutual support in the face of external threats. This same psychology appears in corporate cultures that demand absolute loyalty, political movements that demonize outsiders, any institution that prioritizes internal harmony over external accountability. Understanding this principle helps explain why certain power structures are so resistant to change. When you see industries that seem immune to disruption, governments that seem impervious to reform, or institutions that protect incompetent members, you're seeing the mafia's first rule in action. The most successful modern organizations have learned to disguise competition as collaboration while ensuring that real threats to their power never emerge. The first rule of the mafia wasn't about violence or intimidation. It was about recognizing that sustainable power comes not from defeating competitors, but from making competition itself irrelevant through cooperation. This lesson has been adopted by every successful power structure since, legal and illegal alike. The question we should all be asking is, when we see cooperation among powerful institutions, is it serving society's interests, or just their own? If this analysis opened your eyes to something new, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what power structure you'd like us to examine next. Until then, keep questioning everything.